going on, Jerome's? Even though the Minnesota Vikings were on bye week 13, there was a lot of moving and shaking in the NFC. Noteworthy games. Thursday night, Seattle Seahawks. They had an opportunity, man. They had all the opportunity in the world to beat the Cowboys, but came up short. So Dallas won, moved to 9-3. Hey, they beat their first team that had a winning record at the time. The Lions almost blew a 21-point lead against the stupid-ass Saints, but held on at the end. Whatever. The Falcons got a gift of being able to play Tim Boyle and Trevor Siemian in inclement weather against the Jets. Cool. The Panthers lost to the Buccaneers. The Rams turned on the Jets at the end against the Browns. Love to see it. Then the Niners. The Niners just completely de-pantsed the Eagles. I don't want to say that Nick Sirianni deserves this, but he deserves this. Also, stupid-ass fan base. But the Niners may be dangerous. But the Vikings beat the Niners, if I remember right. Weird what happens, man. And then, I don't know what it is, man. So first off, the media slobbering over any Green Bay Packers quarterback that actually has a pulse. So, whatever. I mean, yeah, Jordan Love is playing not terribly like he did at the beginning of the season. Congratulations. Cool. Awesome. But it's insane. It is insane that Patrick Mahomes and also Travis Kelce, by the way, the faces of the league, they can't get a call in Lambeau. It's crazy, man. It's crazy, man. But yeah, whatever. The Packers allegedly beat the Chiefs. It sort of is what it is. And as of right now, here's the NFC playoff picture headed into week 14. This is going to hold since Monday night is two AFC teams. The Eagles are still at 1, allegedly. You have the Niners, you have the Lions, you have the Falcons. One of these things is not like the other. Then you have the Cowboys as the 5 seed. The Vikings win all the various tiebreakers amongst 4, 6, and 6 teams. Currently in 6. The Packers allegedly at 7. The Rams 8. Seahawks at 9. Like we said, of the 3 teams, the Cowboys, the Vikings, and the Seahawks that were in the wild card spots a couple weeks ago, Seahawks are going to miss. Seahawks are not going to make the playoffs. And they got the Bucks, Saints hanging around still, mainly for the NFC South. And then the Giants are still in it. The only team mathematically out of it is the Panthers and also the Bears, because the Bears are terrible. No big deal. But I want Tommy Cutlets to get back into this thing, man. There you go. But here's the thing. So I understand that we get some flack sometimes for saying that the Vikings are the best 6-6 team in NFL history. But here we go. So the Vikings allegedly lost to the Eagles week 2, whatever. But the Vikings beat the Niners. The Niners just beat the Eagles. The Vikings obviously beat the Niners. The Vikings beat the Niners, who beat Seattle, who beat Detroit. The Vikings beat the Falcons. The Vikings beat the Niners, who beat the Cowboys. The Vikings beat themselves all the time. The Vikings beat the Packers. The Vikings beat the Niners, who beat the Rams. The Vikings beat the Niners, who beat the Seahawks. The Buccaneers, whatever. The Vikings beat the Saints, and the Vikings are better than the Giants. So, beep, bop, 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 boop. The Vikings are the best team in the NFC. Again, boy math. Like, I don't make these things up. It's just how things work out, man. It's conspiracy, babe. That's right. So, as of right now, the Vikings are fighting tooth and nail. It's really unfortunate that the Vikings could not beat the Bears or the Broncos to keep pace with the Lions, but it is what it is. The Vikings still have 2 games left against the Detroit Lions, but taking care of business against the Raiders and the Bengals is a priority 1. The Vikings also have another home game against the Packers, which is great. So two home games left, both in division, 2 games against the Lions. So the Vikings, as much as it's been a slog, the Vikings do control basically what's going to go down. Like, they don't control their own destiny in the division. They need the Lions to slip up a time or two, but we'll see, man. And the remaining schedules of the main teams. So the Lions are on the road against Chicago, and Chicago's actually playing decent ball, allegedly. They're hosting the Broncos. The Broncos are no... I hate these schedules. Then 2 games against the Vikings, and then Detroit's actually at Dallas, which could... So it's interesting because all of a sudden the Eagles losing and the Cowboys and the Eagles square off again. So all of a sudden the division is in play for the Cowboys. No, noteworthy. So could the Lions trip up a time or two down the stretch? Yes, that would be great. And also the Bears should have beat the Lions a couple weeks ago, but whatever. The Packers get to play at Tommy Cutlets one time. Come on. Trip up the Packers. They host the Buccaneers. Then they're at Carolina, at Minnesota, then host Chicago. So they basically tiptoe through the tulips yet again, aside from the Vikings game. Dallas is hosting Philly. It's going to be a hell of a game. They're at Buffalo, at Miami. Oh, how do the schedule makers work this out where, hey, Christmas Eve, the Cowboys and the Cowboys beat writers, they get to be in South Beach? What a world. Then they're hosting Detroit and then at Washington to round out the season. The other teams are, screw Tampa Bay, screw New Orleans. They shouldn't even be on the graphic. But the Rams, are going to be up against it. So at Baltimore, a little bit rough. Baltimore coming off a bye as well. And then they're hosting Washington, whatever, hosting the Saints. Hopefully Jameis will be in by then. At the Giants and then at San Francisco. So a little bit of a tough road hoe as well. And the Seahawks, like we said, the Seahawks were 6-5, and we said that they could easily be 6-8. And I think that they will be. They're at San Francisco, probably a loss. They're hosting Philly. Who knows? At Tennessee, that's not a gimme anymore. Hosting Pittsburgh, and then at Arizona to finish things out. So, all these things, you could be scoreboard watching all day. Bottom line, the Vikings need to take care of business in Las Vegas. They need to beat the Bengals' ass, which is actually a Saturday game, so need to update the graphic and then go from there, because everything else will take care of itself, man. And I do envision the Packers will trip up a time or two. The Vikings and the Packers get the second half of their head-to-head. The Vikings already won at Lambeau, which is fantastic, although that was a bittersweet game because that was a Kirk Cousins game. Sucks, man. Rams will trip up. The Seahawks ain't making it. So the Vikings are getting in, and they have to rack up and stack up a couple wins. They cannot let games keep slipping through their fingers like they did against the Bears and the Broncos, man. So can't have that anymore, and we'll go from there. But again, boy math. Vikings are the best team in the NFC. It all stems from beating San Francisco, man. There you go. But that's it. Your thoughts are thoughts. Take a look at the NFC playoff picture head into week 14. Let us know your thoughts and let us know your thoughts and our thoughts. Nailed it. Comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But to next time, Skol, production value.